Welcome back, peeps, to Purrfect.dev, where we give you cats the freshest dose of dev snacks.
Now with your amazing hosts, Alex Patterson and Brittany Postman. This episode is sponsored by Builder.io. Visually build on your tech stack. Hello, welcome everyone. We are actually attempting to switch our format and go fully live so we can take more questions from our audience. And today, Jesse Hall has agreed to do this crazy experiment with us. So thank you, Jesse. Jesse, do you want to give us a little intro about yourself?
Yeah. So, I mean, I just found out this was live like 2 minutes ago, but yeah, we're good.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I love it. So I'm a developer advocate at MongoDB. You might also know me from my YouTube channel, codeSTACKr. Just developer, and I love teaching people.
That's awesome. Great intro. So tell me more about your journey, because I feel like everything you're kind of doing, I've attempted at one point, but you're doing it all somehow, like the news, videos, you're a dev advocate. So in your career path, what did that look like for you? Were you traditional like college and then you kind of floated through?
So I always knew that I wanted to do something computer related. Like growing up, I was always tinkering and, taking things apart, trying to figure out how things work. And I kind of dating myself, I grew up in the 90s. And so back then there were really no name brand computers. And so there was these mom and pop shops where they would build clone computers,
That's
so
awesome.
that's how I grew up, like building computers. And I kind of moved up from there to servers and networking. And so I ended up doing large enterprise network installations and stuff like that. But along the way, I always was interested in the software side as well, but didn't really know how to get started because, there was no YouTube back then. And so, how do you get started? So I'm just kind of tinkering around. And so I never went to college for computer science. Like everything that I know, I've taught myself or I've learned on the job from colleagues.
That's
And
incredible.
so, yeah, it's been, I would never have imagined myself being where I'm at now when I was younger. Like this is not at all what I thought. And it's kind of evolved, as time goes on. I thought the hardware side of things is where I wanted to be, but then I decided, no, I like the software side of things. And then,
did you even think it was possible? Like when I was growing up, like I was into design and stuff, but I didn't know this kind of job was like able to happen even.
I didn't know about a developer advocate job until like 2 years ago. Like I had no idea that somebody would pay me for doing this. Like this is just kind of weird, So like I was a full stack developer for about 10 years, just writing code every day. And I kind of got burned out on that a bit. And so then, well, this is a whole nother story about how I created the YouTube channel. But like I think the first developer advocate that I met was James Q. Quick, and I was like, what? You get paid to do what? Okay, I have to start thinking about this now.
I think I've heard of that guy before. Have you heard of him?
Yeah.
Just a couple of times. I mean, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
We love James.
Check out Compressed FM if you don't.
Compress, learn, build, teach, like all the things. We love it.
That's a really interesting story. So I feel like we've had so many people on, especially in that dev advocate role, that has kind of come from either a non-traditional, like non-college based background, but kind of worked themselves into learn, build, teach, or learning on their own outside of school. It's just incredible. Can you tell me a little bit more about like codeSTACKr and your full goal with that and when that began?
Yeah, I mean, it was very much an accident. So I've got a couple of kids at the time. They were like in their mid-teens, and I was trying to get them to kind of do something, like kind of think business related. Like, what can you do instead of playing video games all day and chatting with your friends and whatnot? Which is all fine stuff, but think ahead. And they came up with the idea of creating YouTube channels. And so my son wanted to create a gaming related YouTube channel, right? That makes sense. And then my daughter wanted to create like a hair braiding stuff. Like I don't know what kind of channels there are along those lines, but that's what they wanted to do. But they never really followed through on it. And so I kind of thought, you put your mind to something, you can accomplish anything. And I kind of want to prove a point. And so I created a YouTube channel without telling anybody. and created some videos, put them out there, and people were watching them. And so I decided, well, if I get to, I don't know why, but at the time I thought 300 subscribers, that's success, right? If I get to 300 subscribers, I'll tell my family. And I got to 300 subscribers pretty quickly. So I told them, and they kind of laughed at me and thought I was crazy. And I just stayed consistent with it, and it just kept growing.
That's really incredible. And it feels like that was kind of more of a passion part for you, where you like I hear servers and infrastructure and that side of it, but like everything you do seems more front end oriented or productivity side of things. Is that
Yeah.
kind of how you take it as well?
Yeah. So I mean, I wanted to with the channel, I wanted to start out with the basics, right?
Yeah.
And so the easiest thing to start learning is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. You can actually see things happen, right?
Yeah.
And then kind of gradually progress my channel to where we get into more advanced topics and start to get into back end stuff, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. Trying to teach frameworks like React. I love React, and Next.js, and then some backend stuff, and then getting into with MongoDB with the databases and some more backend stuff. And so that's kind of the progression of the channel.
That's very cool. So was MongoDB your first developer advocacy role?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I've been with them for just about 8 months now, and loving it. It's so much fun.
Yeah, that's incredible. So tell me a little bit more about MongoDB and like the advocacy side of that. I assume like I've used Mongo, but you being there this long now, you've had to like open up your whole mind to things that are unbelievably possible.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like a lot of people think MongoDB, okay, it's just a database, right? It's just a key value document database, right? But there's so much more to it that I had no clue until I started working there. And so like there's so much more you can do with it as far as like serverless type stuff. There's the whole realm side of things with where you can do almost like serverless functions. There's built-in search. So like a lot of other
Oh, really?
databases, you have like these third-party packages, but MongoDB is built-in Lucene powered search. There's charts. There's so much more to it that people don't really know about, and that's kind of the role of a developer advocate, is to get that information out there, show you what's possible, because you don't know until you're told.
So I think I've heard of MongoDB Atlas, which
Yes.
is that the Lucene power search? Okay.
Well,
Cool.
Atlas is the online cloud database, right?
Okay.
And so you can host MongoDB locally or on your own hardware, or Atlas is the cloud, hosted version for you. Within that, you have search and charts and all the other things.
So, can I pick your brain just a little bit? I don't know if this is part of your dev advocacy, so I don't want to like
Yeah.
throw this at you. Does MongoDB, like the company you work for, are they running the cloud, like cloudmongodb.com?
Yes.
Cool. I was really hoping you'd say that, and I should have prepped a little bit on that one. I'm gonna bring up a database window out on Mongo, and I'm hoping that like you can walk us through maybe setting one up for
Yeah.
CodingCat or
Yeah.
something, or
No problem.
selling cats. I don't know. Don't sell cats. Go to the Humane Society. Let's see here. I hope this works.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is your Atlas dashboard.
So I think there's, yeah, there we go. So I think you kind of start out here, right?
Yep.
And if I want to create a new project, and we'll call this one Humane Society Cats. You might have to walk me through some.
Yeah.
I
So
usually follow like tutorials.
No, you're good. Yeah, just go ahead and create the project there.
Awesome.
You can add extra owners, extra people later on if you want. And so the next part would be go ahead and build a database.
Ooh,
And then,
interesting.
so we've got 3 options here. So on the left side, serverless it's in preview, kind of like beta. So it's basically pay as you go type thing. And so
Wow.
if you don't make any requests, you don't have any functions at all run, then it's free. But it scales seamlessly. So if you get a big, huge, Black Friday sale, it's just going to scale with you, and you only pay for what you use. The dedicated is like the bread and butter. That's what everybody, in production uses. It has all of this full featured. For now, you could just do shared. It's free, completely free. Great for
Awesome.
testing. Great for basics, whatever. And so then here you can pick your cloud provider. So
Ooh.
AWS, Google Cloud, Azure, whatever your favorite is.
I'm a huge Google fan. GDE.
There you go.
I'll admit it.
There you go. And then pick your region, whatever's closest.
That works.
Yep.
Cool.
And then you got some extra options here, but we can just leave the defaults and
Awesome.
Create the cluster.
I do have a couple questions here.
Yeah,
like, if I'm, I don't know, the next Twitter, obviously, like that's going to be a whole different thing. Like, is there, you're going on like dedicated and enterprise level and stuff like that. But let's say you're just above like a mom and pop that's getting popular. Is this something that you would have to know how to do, or like, would there be triggers to say, hey, you keep maxing something out, why don't you bump this up?
Yeah, you're going to get notifications. You're going to be able to see your analytics as well. And so as you start seeing it ramp up, then you can upgrade as well.
Okay.
And that's kind of the issue that we're trying to solve with serverless as well.
Yeah.
So that if there's really no thought put into it. So with this, there's some minimal thought that you kind of have to know, like, okay, here's how many database hits I'm going to get. If you don't have those analytics, and you got to start somewhere and start getting those analytics, and then you can figure out where you should be.
Cool.
That makes sense.
Totally.
Yeah. So then here you can create, you know what? I actually don't care for this part. Go scroll all the way. Yeah, this is a new thing that they just added, and it actually...
I love doing these demos because it is like free user testing for the people we have on. And it's always like, I don't like this part of our thing. I'm going to change this.
Yeah, we've had people update docs in front of us. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, the reason I say that is because I used this the other day, and I put in a ticket because there's a little glitch in it. So go up to on your left side under deployment databases. There you go. All right. So you're going to see that this database is being created, right? It takes 1 to 3 minutes. Right. So while this is being created, under security, we're going to go to database access on the left side.
Cool. Can I nerd out just for 1 minute?
Yeah.
So I picked GCP. I assume like Mongo is going out creating a project under their like organizational namespace, and then this is deploying a container, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Sorry. Security quick start.
No, database access. Yep.
Okay. Sorry.
So by default, MongoDB is completely locked down. Like there's no user access, there's no networking access, right? So no one can access this database at all. So we have to add that. So the first thing is add a new user, and you can just create, username, password, whatever you want to do. I always, for demos, I do Mongo, and I just delete it later on. But yeah, just do whatever you want. You can even do auto-generate a secure password. And then after that, you can set up specific roles if you only want them to have access to specific projects or databases or even clusters or collections. Sorry.
Nice.
Yeah, you can even make this a temporary user. Let's say you just wanted to give a third-party person some access for 6 hours. There you go.
Some requests.
That's great for demos and stuff too.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so go ahead and add that user. And then the next thing, just under database access, is network access. And so now we need to add network access. Even though we have a user, we still can't log in because the network is locked down.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can allow access from anywhere, add your current IP address, however you want to do it.
That's me. That's scary.
And then again, you can make this a temporary access as well, and just confirm that. All right, so now everyone on the internet has access if they have your username and password,
which was super secure.
Okay.
Luckily, we're on the free plan.
Perfect. Yes. So let's go back up to databases. Yeah, let's see if it's done. All right, we still got another minute or so.
So is this, when we talked about that container, is this running like Kubernetes? Do you know? Or
I don't know for sure. Yeah,
that's totally fine.
And there we go. We're done.
I just knew if I asked that question, it would finish. So
yeah, exactly. It's like we don't know the answer to that. Let's go.
Nice.
Yeah. So we've got our database. It's an empty database now. So you can go to browse collections if you want. and
Cool.
see that there's no collections. We could, load some sample data. We can add, if you have a CSV file or a JSON file, you can, say I have my own data and import that. Or you can load some sample data, and there's a bunch of sample data that you can like play around with.
That's pretty cool. So if I was running like Firebase's real-time database, that's all JSON based. I could just import that directly over it.
Exactly.
That's pretty neat. Unfortunately, Firestore is not that simple.
Yep.
So on that subject though, can we talk just a minute like directly at you? Let's talk about like Mongo and the collections versus kind of this document structure and what that means compared to other databases.
Yeah, I mean, so in a relational database, it's basically like a spreadsheet, right? You've got these tables and columns and rows, and then you have your related data in another table, and it's all kind of connected, right? And you have to make these queries between different tables to pull all the data back together. In MongoDB, it's a document. Every record is basically a document. And so let's say you have a user database, right? You're going to have the user's main information, but then let's say the user has 10 phone numbers, right? You're not going to have 10 phone number columns, right? You're going to have that in a separate table, and it's going to reference that. But in MongoDB, you would have a phone number field, and then that field would be an array of phone numbers, right? And so you're able to keep all of that information all together, and that's kind of a thing that data that is accessed together should be stored together, right? And so it's kind of like a rule of thumb. And it just makes the queries so much quicker because you don't have to then go query all these other places, other tables, join them back together, right? And so that's what makes it so fast.
That's really cool. And how does that compare to like let's say DynamoDB? Is that similar in that context?
Well, a document database is a document database.
Yep.
Yeah. So they're all going to be the same, kind of like how it stores data. It's basically like it's all JSON. And actually on the server it's stored in BSON.
Oh, okay.
But it's JSON. So.
And similarly, I've worked with both, but very lightly. So there's usually points where you get to where you still need like indexes and things built and secondary keys and things like that. That's the case with Mongo as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Cool.
If you're going to be doing searches or specific queries, then yeah, there's actually in software that we have. It's called Compass. And it's free download, Windows, Linux, and Mac, and it will actually do some query performance evaluations for you and tell you where you should add some indexes.
Cool.
So
that's
yeah.
Neat. Well, that gave me just enough time to delay to get some fun pet data here. So I'm going to load my sample data set.
Oh wait, yeah, that's going to be the sample data set from
Just
MongoDB.
kidding.
There you go.
Kidding.
Add my own. There you go.
So I guess this is like animals. I'll just do pets.
Yep.
Can I import after this now?
Let's see.
I know there's a
so at this point, I've only ever imported data from Compass.
Okay.
I don't know if importing data will. I know that you can there's an insert document button there, but that's just going to be like a one-off. Like you can just type in your own one document. To insert an entire, import an entire file, I've only ever used Compass. So I think we may have to have Compass to do that.
Awesome. Is Compass a local thing, or is it
local installation? Yeah.
Cool
software. Yeah.
Are there other access, like cloud-based access that you can get outside of the Atlas console like this? Back to this.
I think there are some third parties that do that sort of stuff, but I'm not, very familiar with them.
Okay. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
So I am going to, I'm going to try something and see if this works. Because I opened this whole thing up, I'm going to see well, it's probably going to be an array, so never mind.
Yeah, I mean, you could insert, a couple of documents if you wanted, just copy and paste a couple of documents.
I was wondering if I could
individually.
just go.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if it's
let's get rid of some of these other ones though.
yeah, there you go.
There
you go.
Cool.
Okay, so you have a document.
So we have a document. It's got the likes of a cat, Meowsy. So if I wanted to access this database now from something like Next.js or Gatsby or something like that, how does somebody go like how do I do that?
Yeah, so go back up to databases on the top left.
Okay.
And then connect right next to where it says cluster 0. There you go. And then connect using your application, the middle right there. Yeah.
Cool.
Right there. All right. So then there's your connection string, right? And so this MongoDB plus SRV, that is what the connection string that you'll need in whatever Node.js next, whatever you're using, right? And along with the MongoDB package. So you would just you would copy that connection string there, and if you want to include the full driver, you can check that box right there, and it'll give you an example of what that would look like in Node.js.
Oh, nice. That's really cool. So I could spin up like I assume in Node I could spin up another serverless function out on Firebase or GCP or Lambda on AWS and go snatch up data from this.
And let me show you a really cool thing. Actually, close this. And this is brand new. It's in preview as well at the bottom. There you go. On the left side, data API preview.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. So go ahead and select the data source, and then it's going to be cluster 0 right here. There you go. And then enable that. So what this does is it gives you endpoints. So this is basically like serverless. Yeah. So you're going to get a find endpoint. You're going to get a insert endpoint. All of the endpoints that you need, delete all of those, and you could just use these in any application.
So I could fire up Postman. We could try this out, right?
Exactly.
Let's do this.
Yep. So the only thing that you'll need to do is create an API key. Okay. So top right, there you go, and just name it whatever you want.
We're gonna stick with the theme.
Yep. And you might want to. Okay, it's not showing the whole thing, so you're good. Copy that and paste it off screen somewhere.
Okay. Got it.
You're not going to ever see this again. So
I tear this cluster down. So
yeah.
Cool. Actually, it has a test, right?
It does.
That's interesting.
Yep. There you go. Select your collection. Select your language snippet that you want. Currently it's on curl.
Do we have a fetch? I
There's
guess
a
node
node
works. I can usually read curl, but sometimes somebody throws something in here. I'm like, what is that? So folks, if you're used to curl, basically we're saying send a post request to this API endpoint that they have and send all of these headers, including this API key.
Yep.
So the cool part about Postman as well, which I don't see it in here, you can actually copy that curl request and we'll fire it up. I'm getting nervous now. I haven't done this on screen in a while. Sign in.
Yeah, you got it. The only thing, just be wary of your passwords and API keys and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-oh. Is Postman down?
Oh, no.
The joys of live
ruined.
demos.
Let's try one more time, see what happens.
We do have a question, too, about the data API.
Oh, yeah.
Into the data API. They haven't looked into that, and they asked, what exactly is that? Can we explain that a little bit more?
Yeah. So again, it's basically like just endpoints, right? So instead of you having to set up your own, Node.js server, your own backend, where you're going to create your CRUD, endpoints, your create, read, update, and delete endpoints. You don't have to do any of that. They're already created for you. So there's nothing preventing you from connecting to your data. So you basically you create your database, you set up your data API, and then you can create, read, update, and delete. Just from that, we handle all of the backend stuff for you.
Nice. You know what? I think I'm going to get a couple things set up here on Postman. So this is a perfect opportunity for us to go with our sponsor, Builder.io. If I can find the right button. There we go. Today's podcast is brought to you by Builder.io, visually building the web. Builder.io has one of the most powerful visual editors in the industry. Unlike other tools, Builder actually produces the code for you. You don't have to completely switch out your framework either, just use one of the handy SDKs that are available. There's no limits to what you can build. Instead of limiting your marketing team, start to optimize and let them do the work. This will allow your web developers to get back to the hard work that it takes for other components, allowing your team to do A/B testing and personalization. Stop worrying about bugs in production. Just use the site as it is, then you can analyze and start converting all of your customers with Builder's built-in heat maps. Stop limiting your growth with developers' long lead times. Start building, optimizing, analyzing, and start growing faster. Don't take my word for it. You can sign up for free today and start building the web visually with Builder.io. Whew! I think that was just
Great
enough
stuff.
time. I got the curl command pasted and everything.
Nice.
So let's check this out. So here is that same curl command. I threw it over in Postman. So I think this might help answer the question that we had out there about kind of what that web API looks like. So let's do this. It's going to give me the same format. I'll import it in, and here is my API now. What I can do, I might bounce off screen for a second and throw that API key back in.
Yeah.
Just in case I forget later. So maybe
The other cool thing that I just thought of
Mhm.
with the data API is that it doesn't require any drivers, right? So that's the big thing about it is, you don't have to import a MongoDB package or any kind of driver at all. It just works.
Nice.
So Max was saying, is it kind of like Firebase?
Yeah. It's basically like a backend as a service. Sure. Yeah. It provides all those endpoints for you to connect to your database.
That's really cool. I think there are SDKs just like that Node SDK. There's front end like client SDKs for JavaScript as well, right?
For MongoDB.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
No?
well, there's the node drivers, right? And so you're really like it works in Next.js because Next.js has backend sort of functionality there as well. Generally, you don't want to have your API keys and different things like that on the front end. So that's kind
Sure.
of one reason. Yeah.
So there's no like public authentication to give you access to it. Gotcha.
Right.
Awesome. Cool. Let me go back. So let me show this off again. So now here's our cluster, here's our API endpoint. We've pasted that up to Postman, and now we've sent the request, and it gave us a document ID.
Mhm.
I'm wondering, should we have gotten more?
Yeah, well, so here's what we're doing. We are in our projection, we're telling it to only give us the ID.
Okay.
So actually, you can just delete that entire projection line.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then it'll give us everything. There you go.
This is the select star
There
of
you go.
MongoDB.
There you go.
Nice.
Yep. Now this is a find one endpoint. And so this is going to give you there's only one there, but this is going to give you the first one.
Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
So I won't grill you on this, but there's other query type of parameters, correct?
Exactly. Yeah, we can put in there. Let me think.
Like I said, this is not a test.
I'm trying. No, it's all good. It is.
Well, Jesse's
I think it's query. I think it's query.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think it's query, and then.
Oops.
And then put in your query, no, actually, I think it's filter. Sorry, yeah, change it to filter. Yeah, it's filter, and then let's put in.
Could do like the ID or the name, maybe.
Yeah, let's try the name. Well, I mean, it's going to bring up the same thing, obviously, because there's only one
Right.
there. But yeah, for sure, you can do name for sure.
Okay. So
Yeah.
is it name EQ usually? I think
It's going to be name colon and then
like this,
yeah
maybe.
all inside the quotes. Yeah. It's gonna parse what's inside the quotes. Yeah. And then the name.
I should probably spell filter right. Would be good.
There you go.
Max did have one more relevant question. Is it the data API paid, or will it work through the free tier too? I think we're seeing that it does work through the free tier.
Yes, it does.
Just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
Question, Max. Keep them coming.
Yeah. Max is good with the questions.
Yeah, I think Max had to run, but I just wanted to put that out there just so we have it for playback later.
I'm just pulling up the docs real quick because I just created a video on this, but I can't remember.
Yeah, no worries. I was thinking while you're doing that, I might show people how to use Compass since we talked about it a minute too. So let me bring that up. Switch a share here.
Oh, okay, it's an array. That's what it is.
Cool.
I mean,
we'll
an
jump
array,
back to
an
that.
object.
So here's our database access, right? Where's
Yeah,
my
so
query string?
back in the Atlas dashboard, you'll go to connect again to get your connection string for Compass.
Why am I not seeing connect? Sorry.
On the database tab, there's a connect button on the database.
So here's database connect. Thank you.
There you go. And then connect using Compass. And there's going to be a connection string in there.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Let's try
and
this.
So you will have to put your password in right there where it says password. So you might want to do that off screen.
I think everyone knows it now, unfortunately.
I didn't notice.
It's still just Mongo.
Oh. All right. Yeah. So now you should be able to see everything in there. And then in here, we could import a bunch of documents if you wanted.
Ooh, neat. Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So go to animals.
Okay.
And then go to your pets collection. And then I believe it is under the 3 dots. If there was nothing here, it would just be a big green button. No, that's export.
There's add data, and there's a little.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, add data.
Okay.
Import file. Yep.
JSON. Oh boy, where did I put it? Downloads. Way too many downloads. Something about animals. There we go.
Nice.
Cool.
All right.
So pretend that's a million records, folks.
Yeah, exactly. It imported the same one that you copied and pasted in earlier, but the second one has a different object ID.
I like that because now we can do our search, right? And it'll find
technically
both.
they're different. Yes, exactly.
Awesome.
And if you want to go back to that Postman, so on the filter, it's going to be an object and then name colon. Yeah. So that whole part right there, make that entire thing inside, or the filter value is going to be an object. So on the outside of the quotation marks, put curly braces.
On the outside?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking we were writing JSON, but we're not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole thing needs to be an object.
Wait a minute.
Right? There you go. Now,
okay.
Now name, put quotation marks around name and quotation marks around the value.
I see.
There you go.
My bad. Okay.
There you go. Now this should work.
So we should get 2 back, right? I hope.
So we're doing a find one. So in the post request, you see at the end point of the post request, the URL, I'm sorry, is find one. Change that to find.
Okay, cool.
And then send it. Now we should.
Awesome. Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Like that was super easy. I mean, the fact you guys are hosting this too, I assume on another serverless function or something, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so on the back end, it's actually using realm functions. And so that's like you could do all of this yourself. You could set up all of these endpoints yourself. You could have been doing this, for a long time now. And a lot of people do this, but we wanted to make it even easier by already, setting up these default endpoints for you.
Nice. That like takes so much burden. I think this is why there's things like Firebase and things like that you were able to stand up that just took care of so much of this
Yeah.
stuff and splashed a GraphQL endpoint or something on top of it.
Mhm.
It looks like Mongo and Atlas cloud side of this is taking care of a lot of that now.
Exactly.
Can we talk a minute? I heard you say something as far as the functions piece. I'm
Mhm.
really curious, like how far can you go with that? Or maybe I misheard you. Like there's
Yeah.
resolvers on Dynamo and GraphQL.
Well, so they're basically like serverless functions.
Okay.
So it's JavaScript, right? So you can
Wow.
just write a function to do whatever it is you need it to do.
So I could
There are
change Mousy out to Alex. Is that
yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
hearing?
yeah. You could do. I mean, pretty much sky's the limit. There's also triggers, right? And so you could say if this happens, then run this function.
Wow.
So let's say you got a new addition, a new document added to the database. Someone just posted something, whatever, into the database. You could have a function automatically get triggered and run and do whatever it is you need it to do.
That's really cool. I love it. Oh, I'm curious how you're blending kind of your MongoDB advocacy side with codeSTACKr. Like, what are we going to see from you in the future?
Yeah, it's really the same thing. Like I get to do uh, what I like to do all day long, right? So
Sure.
so for myself and for MongoDB, and so it's going to continue to be web development related stuff on codeSTACKr. I've sort of started getting into Web3 a bit.
Yeah, like everyone.
Yeah, well, it's kind of a love-hate thing. There's some
Yeah,
people, yeah.
that's fair.
But yeah, I think it's the future. I think it's got issues. It definitely has issues. But yeah, so I would say web development related stuff in connection with Web3, which is web development as well. So yeah.
That's awesome. I'm looking forward. I assume a lot of the web stuff will probably have a back end, maybe in MongoDB in the future. It sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, I'll be putting some MongoDB stuff on there as well. And like I said, mostly I like React and Next.js, and so that's a lot of the things that you'll see Node.js as well. So all JavaScript related stuff.
You hear it playing.
I do.
Here we go, folks. Sorry to cut you off, Jesse.
Yeah, it's all good.
Here's Jesse's channel.
Yeah, VS Code is kind of another big thing that I focus on as well. I should probably change
Great
some of
intro
this.
video. So I won't play the whole thing. I just wanted to give you guys a touch of this is Jesse's channel. It's absolutely incredible. codeSTACKr.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. So now we're gonna pivot, and one of these days I'm gonna do a little intro snippet right here. We're gonna do our Purrfect Picks.
Oh,
Imagine a cool scene of video of some kind right now.
mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna throw you under the bus, Jesse, and ask you to go first with your picks, if that's okay.
Yeah, all good. So the first one is this VS Code extension. Like I'm just a big VS Code person. I just love extensions, and like I like to make my life easy by adding
Yeah,
extensions.
don't
You
we
know?
all?
So it is if you've ever had a value in your code that you want to change the name of it, but it's all over in your code and it's got different cases. And so you're like, yeah, this one is in lowercase, this one's in camel case, this one's in snake case. And it's like, I just want to change this word everywhere, right? And that's what this extension does. It just changes it and it preserves the case.
Oh my gosh. You know
Yeah.
how many times I do like a replace all with like make sure it matches, do this and do
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Like that's incredible.
exactly. Like that is going to just save me so much time.
So this actually, if I'm looking at this correctly, if you were to search for like element, it actually, well, yeah, it's finding just element and element within a word. So cool.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you for that one. You just saved me hours. Your second pick.
Yeah, so the second one is kind of a personal pick. So like I said, I'm kind of venturing into the Web3 space, and I've created an NFT collection. And I thought, like, this is perfect. We're on this um podcast, so like it's
I feel
cat
like it's on
related.
brand, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's kind of on brand. So what I wanted to do was, I don't know if you guys are into NFTs or whatnot, but if you have like MetaMask set up or whatever,
Nope.
let me know what is your what number you want, and I'm gonna send you guys some
Oh, no way.
NFTs. Yeah.
Is it safe to look up right now and share with you, like in
Oh
MetaMask?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I just
Sweet.
need your MetaMask account numbers. That's it. And which is
Awesome.
those are public. So yeah, it's all
That
good.
might take me a minute. Apparently, I uninstalled it from this version of my browser. It's on my personal one. I'll go
Yeah,
get that one. Cool.
all good. All good.
So when you view this on OpenSea, it looks like it goes. I think I already have the tab. It takes a minute.
There you go.
So
So
and is OpenSea? This is how you can like bid on NFTs, or
yeah, basically it's like the eBay of NFTs. So it's a place to sell them, right? And so I wasn't planning on getting into Web3 so early. Like it kind of just fell in my lap from a sponsor of mine, and like it's just like once I started looking into it, I kind of got hooked and just, I don't know, got sucked in. And so what this is I created. I don't want to say like I'm an artist, but I like to doodle. I like to draw, right? And so I drew all of these, and then I created all the layers, and I created 10,000 NFTs, and I have a video documenting the entire process.
holy
But
smokes!
what it is you have cat carriers first off. So if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see I think there's one left right now, that's for sale, and it is just a cat carrier. So you don't know what you're gonna get after you purchase it. The cat gets revealed. And so you can see some other people have purchased them, and they have them up for resale.
So
you can see,
they purchased this, and this is for resale. That's what they
yes,
got out. That's
yeah,
cool.
you get a random cat.
So my
I
like
love this felt sticker, by the way.
clarification for my sake. NFT, I always assume like in the blockchain, you get a very specific version of that NFT, and that's yours forever. So in order for this like purple cat here in the middle to have been sold, no one else can ever have this purple cat again unless they resell that specific one, right?
Exactly. Yeah, that is a one of a kind cat. Like all 10,000 of them are one of a kind. There's no others like them. You can purchase it, you can resell it, but it's never going to change.
That's crazy cool. I love it. I don't know how you made 10,000 cats. We'll have to talk about that offline.
There's an hour-long video explaining the entire process.
Oh my gosh. We'll put that in the links. That's great. Cool. Brittany, if you're able to talk, I know you're multitasking.
So my first pick is Wordle. I mean, everyone's pick seems to be right now. It's very hot. I love to do this every morning while I'm drinking my coffee, and it's just been a really fun, kind of relaxing thing. And it just got bought for like 7 figures by the New York Times.
7 figures. Wow.
7 figures. I don't know exactly what the 7 figures were off the top of my head, but I mean, in the millions.
Let's go 5 right in the middle.
Yeah.
So what's today's word so I can get it right the first time?
What was it? It took me 5 guesses
I
today.
know she does it every day.
I do it every day, and I post it on Twitter every day, but I don't remember what today's word was. It was shard.
Whoa, shard.
Wow.
That's a dangerous one to do, isn't it?
Try.
Okay, I'm gonna try it. I'm actually looking up your
If I
solve
had
here.
I messed it up. I always do audio first, and then I do a CH word. And today I didn't do my CH word. And if I had done my CH word, I would have gotten it.
I'm trying it. You ready?
Hit enter.
Oh.
I'm posting it on Twitter like I'm a genius.
Nice.
I'm gonna call you out for cheating.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Now I realize that we're live, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but
Uh-oh.
Oh, good
Wow.
point. Oops. I don't know. I don't know the rules behind this thing. Don't listen to us. There's only one person watching. We're okay.
I actually just played this yesterday for the first time.
It's
really?
addictive. I
Yeah,
played
I
on
love
vacation
it.
way too long.
So my other pick pivot all the way back to codeSTACKr, but I found your Notion template and I really wanted to talk about how you go through this workflow for creating your videos, because we use Notion a lot for CodingCat, for Perfect Dev, and I use it for my personal stuff and I love it. So I just downloaded your template and this is a great little walkthrough of how you use it. So since we didn't get to talk about it today, this is great to go and see how you set your videos up.
Yeah. I use Notion for everything, literally, like not personal, business, everything.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's really powerful tool.
Awesome. I hope I didn't pick my first pick before, because I feel like I'm rediscovering it all over again. I'm trying to get my son into programming. He doesn't want to, but he loves gaming. And I thought this would be a cool way to at least get him to understand some of the basics that it's going to take to like get into gaming and logic and things like that. So GDevelop has like this incredible capability to like do layering and all of this fun stuff that you can do for gaming, but it doesn't take coding. So there's a lot you can do with it. Like, don't get me wrong. And I think I haven't got that far into it, but you can do coding around the assets and things as well. So I thought I would pick it because we've been messing around with it like crazy whenever he's home. So yeah.
Awesome.
I know we picked dusty domains, but I didn't know if I specifically picked this, and I keep talking about it with all of our friends. So I thought I would like talk about dress David Rose. So it's davidrose.style. I'm picking that domain. Check out like how to dress.
This is one of my favorite things, and it's Lynn, right? Lynn.
Yeah,
I'm failing on her last name.
We'll put a link out.
Lynn Fisher
there you go.
created this, and she is incredible. It is so awesome.
Yeah, and here's all the like dress David wall things and stuff like that. So really, really cool concept and idea. I love it. I don't know if she's friends with David Rose. I don't know if he's okay with this or how that works, but I hope so. Cool. Awesome. Jesse, it's so great to have you. Love codeSTACKr. I actually, for me personally, and we didn't talk a lot about this, I watch your news the most. So I used to do Weekend Web, and I failed at it because I just couldn't get to all the news like you can get to. I don't know how you do it.
I know you went through like this thing where you were not going to do it anymore, right? Did you just make a decision on that?
Well, that's kind of something. I don't know if you noticed, the last two have been shorts. Yeah, so I did them for the entire year last year, and I love doing them.
Yeah.
I love putting a spotlight on other people and showing other people's what other people are working on. But it really brought my channel down. Like it brought every other video was underperforming, and so it was really bringing my channel down. And unfortunately, YouTube penalized me for that, as far as like my views and stuff. And so I had to get that out of my main video feed, and the only other thing was to put it into shorts. So the long form video is probably not going to be anymore. Maybe I'll do like a special here and there. But for now it's going to be shorts, and as well the newsletter itself.
Nice.
That's so unfortunate that the YouTube algorithm does that. We're kind of going through the same thing and trying to decide what's going to work best for us. I'm very interested in how all of that works, but that's interesting to hear that that's the reasoning.
Yeah,
there are a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of people like you that like it and watch it, but there's just not enough.
Yeah.
There's just not enough, and YouTube sees that, and so they penalize the rest of them.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, the power of the advertiser. I don't know. It's scary.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Exactly.
Well, thanks again, Jesse. Really appreciate it. Go check out codeSTACKr and listen to Jesse all on MongoDB and advocacy. Thanks,
Thank
Jesse.
you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Take care.
Bye.
Later.